Hey there and welcome to Expeditions, a MudRunner game. At the screen, what we do see right now, I'm already in love because I do see an old temple. I do see a very beautiful and rather difficult terrain to conquer. And all I know about Expeditions though, that it's a MudRunner game, you know, like Splint Tires, SnowRunner, etc. It's all of the same family. It completely plays different though, because the button layouts and the menus are different. That is what I do know. I've tried it out a tiny little bit though. And I do believe, instead of just a cargo trucker, we are just a scientist. So what we are going to do mostly here is just collect data from the nature. You know, like dinosaur stuff, I think. You know, like temples, discoveries, stuff like that. And if that is the case though, then it's a dream for me, because that's what I would have loved to do every day though, right? For the rest of my life, in real life. Just me, my Jeep or my truck, nature, collecting data. Camera on, pictures going, let's go. Ooh, skip the scene, sure thing. Alright, so yeah, the buttons layouts are completely different though. Before jumping into your first expedition, let's learn the basics of driving. So instead of A, we already have X to accept. Normally it is, of course. Guess what? It's A for accept. The handbrake is already off. There we go. So what we do know though, it is a little bit on the weird side right over here, because X is on the right side. It should be on the left side, because where X is on the D-pad right there on the right side, there should be B, that is the brake, but B is RB. So that's interesting. And these are the little things that I do not appreciate, game developers. So yeah, you know, like, okay, should be A again. Meaning, either nobody ever hold a controller or played SnowRunner before that developed this, or, which I really do think, is that he really wanted to make the game feel like a spin-off from SnowRunner and not a continuation, so not a SnowRunner 2.0, right? Because SnowRunner is very successful, one might say. So I think he went for the latter, and I understand that though. But button layout, menus, these should all be the same though, right? You know, these should just all be the same. We already have X on, which is nice. Oh my, that's a beautiful bounce. Alright, so what I feel right now though, with these tires, we will totally bug down in SnowRunner. Look at this, right? You know, yeah, these are highway tires. And right now, yeah, it's interesting. It is rather cool though to see. Let's put differential lock on too. Oh, that is nice to see though. Okay, so it is not physic heavy as the trucks are physic heavy, right? You know, with SnowRunner. That is good to know, very good to know. So it's a little bit more lighthearted though, one might say. Maybe a tiny bit more arcadey. So yeah, it's not the fight against the nature environment, but maybe against all the rocks around us though. It's also environment, but you know what I mean, right? Like mud and water and all that stuff. Stage complete. If you're completely stuck, you must engage the differential lock. This will help a lot. In order to do, you will have to shift to a lower gear. Very true. It would have been very awesome though if you would teach a lot of people how the differential lock actually works. There we go. But yeah, now the front and the rear are not split anymore. They are turning at the same speed. Beautiful. I explained it in SnowRunner in the wrong way. I have to admit that. But this is the fact and this is the truth how it actually works. I mean, it's a very beautiful game though. It really is. The physics of the truck, yeah, it's not as boggy down and everything, right? With the mud physics from SnowRunner, I can already tell. But do you see how the flatbed is moving independently from the cabin? That is a lot more realistic though than we have in SnowRunner currently. So there are trade-offs and trade-ons though, which I really do appreciate. It says complete. Trade with X instead of A. There we go. And back with B. Wow, that's correct. Let's go into reverse. A little bit too much reverse here. nice. There is a lot of bounce though, so it feels a little bit floaty. Tire inflation system, adjusting the pressure depending on the type of terrain, reduces it will significantly improve traction, but at the cost of higher fuel consumption. So what I do think why this is a lot of bounce though over here, is that the tires were very full, meaning there's a lot, well, it's just like a balloon tire, right, you know? If a balloon is, well, okay, let me explain it differently, right? If the tires are low of air, the pressure of the vehicle presses down, meaning the tire gets a little bit wider, meaning there is more traction. And there is no bounce, because there's nothing to press backwards, right? You know, if there's pressure coming from one side, right now it just goes through it, and it spreads through the tire. Now, if the tire is completely full, normal pressure in other words, then if a rock hits us, the pressure, the energy of that pressure is going straight back though, right? Making the bounce. Alright, let's try. We have to hold down. And there we go. Let's fill her up. Alright, clear and clean to the point. It's an interesting cabin. It's not bad at all. Alright, let's put low gear on, and that one. Are we really stuck right now? That's kind of interesting. And of course we are, because I forgot that we did put it up again. And there we go though, more traction though, beautiful, right? Before you do this in real life, make sure you have something to pump your tires up again though. If your vehicle is damaged, use spare parts to repair damaged components. Let's try it out. There we go, I would say that over there, and there we go. Oh, we cannot fix all of it though. Oh, we can apparently. It's a little bit clunky though, but we don't have a spare tire. But it's a little bit clunky. So far, I have to say, great improvements on certain aspects. And in other ones though, like the button layout and the menus are really foul. They are really bad though, in comparison. So far, my first impressions, very promising game though. If you go in this game from SnowRunner, change that you are just a truck driver that is exploring and delivering. Now you are more of a scientist. I don't know a lot about this game though, but I think there are a lot of scientific tasks that we have to do here, right? So yeah, so keep that in mind. So X and then A. You get the point what I mean, right? You know, I'm dragging on a little bit, but I have to make clear, if ever a dev sees this video, right, you know, make a Ford controller layout. All right, to headquarters we go. This is the money that we did earn. Them has taken 0 points, used fuel, distance 466 meter only, time of session 05.26 minutes. Awesome sauce. You can choose any of the available regions for the deployment. However, if you want to hone your skills before facing real challenges, then Little Colorado is the perfect place for it. Alright, I see Little Colorado is where we just have been, I believe. It's a very small map though. So I will see this as part of the tutorial, and then we will do Arizona 2 before we go back to SnowRunner, you know, because Wisconsin is calling my phone every minute right now. You know what I mean though? So let's keep on going. Expeditions are the main missions. Progress through the game and earn various rewards by completing them. Alright, so free roam. Replayability. Any expedition can be replayed as many times as you like, but you can receive the main reward only once. Side missions are available only once as well. Interesting, that is good to know. Free roam. Complete Stone Fort and nearby areas. Okay, interesting. And this is okay. Nearby areas in Stone Fort. Good to know. Right over here. Your first assignment. You have to go to the mountains and install a radio module that will improve the signal quality at the base. But be careful, the road is not easy. Alright, seems very nice. Repayment. We do get probably that dude. We do get 5 points. We do get a car that looks like a Don. And a headquarters, apparently. After completing a mission for the first time, you'll get tokens, which can be used to unlock unique customization items and options. Oh, yeah, look at that, though. We got Don over there, the Don 71. Interesting scout. Here we go. And off we go, my boys. Off we go. Finally, right, you know? Well, we have to get through all of this, though, because it's the beginning of the game. Start expedition. It's the first time, first review, though. And I am a little bit of a veteran, though, in simulation gaming. So, yeah, if I struggle or if something takes a little bit of time, then I can imagine it will also happen with people that are totally new to the game, right? You know, in expeditions, you need to navigate the terrain. Use the map for this. No way. All right, let's see. So we have to go that way, huh? Well, easy peasy lemon squeezy, though. With a lot of rocks like this, though, I might just be tempted to do this one directly, right? And of course, we are going to activate the all-wheel drive. I hope so that I don't have to relearn, you know, SnowRunner after we have done a couple missions here. Use the echo sounder to determine the depths of water bodies you are about to cross. Okay, yeah, this is what I mean, though, right? You know, so I was correct. What I did see was, you know, like archaeological things in trailers back in the days and all, right? So it makes a lot of sense that we will be in some type of category of a scientist. And all of this, though, makes a lot more sense. So we have to get this. Radio station or radio communication is a set of equipment necessary to carry on communications via radio waves. Awesome. And these trucks do feel good, though. They are a little bit more floaty. Oh. Yeah, a little bit more floaty, though, than SnowRunner, but it's for good use, though, right? It's a different type of game. Explore the nearby mountains using the drone. Alright. Interesting. So we can go over there and then reach the top, huh? Yeah, there's no other way as far as I can see. It's a beautiful location, though. Man, I'd love to live around here somewhere. At least if I have a normal road home and back, though, right? You know what I mean? Can you imagine hunting here? Fishing? Oh, that's some good stuff, though, huh? Yeah, we are burning a little bit more through fuel right now, but that's alright with me. Do you like the truck's haircut? It looks a little bit too modern, though, right? For this truck. A little bit too big, too. Come on. We can do this. There we go. Looks like we have one of those bowl cuts, you know. You know, the ones from Dumb and Dumber? Yeah, something like that. But it's going to be useful once we do have to haul a lot more, though, around. Now, what do we do around here? Visit the top of the mountain with a drone. Okay, let's do that again. My frog is still here, though, in the throat. Are you kidding me? Oh. Okay, so what he wanted me to do, though, is go with the drone over there. Not just to look at it, though, but really go over it. And then we could figure out the place. This is not how a drone works, by the way, right? You know, a drone is that we can go from here, and then we do see everything around us, and by that we can determine the location. We don't have to fly over, let's say, that mountain over there at the back, where we do see a path up from the river. You know what I mean? We can see that from here. Use the winds to get your vehicle out of trouble. Attach it to a natural element or your own anchors and pull. Well, we don't need to do that. Just a little bit of knowledge, right? You know, SnowRunner players have so much advantage in games like this right now, though. And especially people that do this for a living or as a hobby. There we go. Stage complete. Enter delivery mode. With X, Sometimes in expeditions you will have to complete quest item deliveries or complete structure constructs. Alright, deliver that one. Task is completed. Beautiful. I love to see that little radar over there, right? You know, the little satellite dish. Not bad, not bad. Aha. Binoculars. Sure thing, we do know what that is. Open the map, huh? And then we are right over here, so we have to scout this one out. An airdrop. What is this over here? That's an airdrop. Well, that's an first expedition. Okay, that's an airdrop too. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Explore the area. Alright. See what I mean though? With a drone we could just do this too over here. Right, you know, that we can go over there. Return to the truck. We are in the truck, don't worry about that. Explore the area, 96% complete using a drone. You can also discover unexplored parts of the map. Okay. I kind of want to fly over there though, if I can. There's so much though, I love it. Drones have such a different meaning right now though, huh? Than what he used to have. Bad signal. Okay, gotta be careful with that. Oh, I do see right over there. We do have something that we can pick up though. That's nice. Hey, the battery should be going down somewhere. I'm not sure where we can see it. Oh, look at that. We have something down here. Okay, something that we can pick up or interact with. 99, 98%. Alright, get to the next checkpoint. There we go. Bad signal. It would be cool that we will actually see it hover around though and fly towards us. It's kind of interesting. Oh, that checkpoint over there. Sure, let's go. So the feeling of these trucks though, they sound heavier, but they drive lighter than the SnowRunner trucks. It's an interesting little observation. Recover to the base and parked the truck. I thought we were going to pick up some stuff though. At any time during the expedition you can recover your vehicle to the field base. Sure. Well, let's just follow up then. There we go. So we have to press A and then that. And then recover. Okay. So we did recover here, which is interesting. So it was A, right thumbstick press, and then X to accept. But normally it was accepting over here. Right, if we would interact with something. So then it's X and then A. My god, that's confusing though. That is confusing. Get the rewards. Give me that car. Nice though. Okay, 750. Items sold, 750. Not bad though, so we do get the money back. Well, we lost quite a lot of money though for tuning two vehicles. But man, part of the job, I suppose, right? Because we have now two tuned vehicles that we can use at any time. And by that, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. This was my first play in this beautiful game. So far, absolutely stunning graphics, right? You know, the atmosphere is absolutely fantastic. Button layouts, menus, absolutely disaster compared to the straightforwardness of SnowRunner and some other simulation games though. And if you are playing in a brand, let's say Farming Simulator 22, everything you do there and every button is the same as Farming Simulation 25. So it will be a continuation of that. Although Farming Simulator replaced the older installments, this did not replace the older SnowRunner, right? You know, it's not a SnowRunner 2.0, but that's kind of clear if you upgrade both of them and just make sure that it is a different type of game, right? Make videos about it, more trailers, explain it to people, and people will never be disappointed about that. or worried that one of their favorite trucking games is going to be replaced. Anyways, that's my intake right over there, and do with it what you want. Criticize it, thumbs it up, or whatever. But I want to see your opinion of the game too, right? Because I really appreciate such feedbacks and, you know, like community thing. So yeah, let me hear about your opinion, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay happy, stay healthy. Don't forget to subscribe though. Bye bye.